Wow. We are live. I did not publicize this. I don't know why. I just really didn't not because I didn't feel like it. Just because we normally don't do Thursdays. And me and Daryl have been chatting for probably the last 20 minutes. So we could have really started this about 20 minutes ago. But I haven't seen his handsome face in a minute. We haven't seen all your faces, and you haven't seen us in a minute. The man to the right, the handsomest, middle-aged. No, I'm kidding. The handsome. It's gonna call you middle-aged. I got called that. I got called that today at Home Depot. That is a totally different topic for a totally different conversation.
Middle-aged man, aisle 4 on the left side of the screen.
I got called a gentleman at Home Depot, and the lady goes, "I need to see your ID." She's like, "You know what? It was an older lady." She's like, "Sir, I thought you were like 45." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I usually get called like 25, 30. I'm like, man, do I look that much like my dad? Like, I feel like my father. The man to the right, the handsomest Puerto Rican in all the land, the one and only DY, Daryl Rivera. I am Stephen Muehlhausen. Thank you, guys. Welcome back. Walkway to Fight Club, and a big apology to everybody. I apologize. We apologize as a team, as a nation, as a family. It's been a minute. It's been since last week. Lot going on. I wasn't feeling too hot. Daryl's been going through a couple different things. You get those bad migraines like my mom. So I can understand. Those suck. Yep. Those are brutal. I am glad are you feeling better before we even get into this conversation?
Getting there. Still a little bit of a headache, but getting there. Just good, a lot of stuff to do at work, and it's just
that State Farm can give you a headache, man. I can understand.
It's insurance, man. It's insurance. And after the podcast, remind me to tell you that story that I forgot to tell you.
Yes, you do have
a good one for you.
You said you have a story for me, and you were texting earlier, and you said you do have something you do want to tell me. But
it took me 3 hours to get through this whole thing. 3 hours.
God, I am so sorry, but it has been a minute. Deep apologies. We already got a ton of people jumping in. We want to thank everyone. We are sorry. This will not ever happen again. But it's been a little bit of a tragedy. Then I took a little siesta, and I went to Michigan for a few days and needed a little family R&R time. So Michigan is nice. Oh my God. I got to come back here and I got to stay in a deck. Suggestion to people. It is grand when you when you buy a nice home, but when you have to power wash, sand, and stain a deck, that takes a while.
Especially after vacation.
It took me 12 hours. Total. I am mad. No, but the one side looks great, though. Oh, my God. It looks... I'll take a picture and put it up on the...
You took 12 hours on one side?
Oh, dude. It's huge. The other side's bigger. I'm not kidding.
We're going to have to post a picture on the Walkway to Fight Club page here on Facebook.
Oh, my God.
We can see.
Because what you got to do is... And see, this is what people don't understand. And I didn't understand this either. Deck I had before, my townhome was like tiny. This is like... These both are... The other one's gargantuan. Like, oh, my God, my head. Like, you got to, like... They hadn't done... The previous owner didn't do a damn thing to this. I'm going to be abundantly clear just to start. They didn't do anything. That thing didn't look like it hadn't been taken care of. And I found out it wasn't.
Yeah.
One neighbor told me 3 years. I had another one tell me 5. And that thing hadn't been power washed. If you own a deck, it is supposed to be power washed every year. It wasn't power washed. So I had to... I didn't have one. We were going to spend like a gargantuan amount of money. It's like $500-$600, man. Luckily, my father-in-law had one. I had to go get one from him. And then we did it. So that took a while. That took like 2 hours. Then you got to sand it. My sander broke. So then I had to go the old school. I had to go to Home Depot. Like, no, I had like you had to go like that. Not with the sandpaper. You had like a little holder. You put it under.
I can just picture you going literally square foot by square foot with sandpaper.
Dude. Because you got to smooth out the wood. Because it hadn't been done in such a long time. And then you got to tape around. Because I got brick. Got tape. It's a pretty big damn deck. Then you got to edge. Dude. Yeah, I did 2 coats too. I'm going to be fully transparent. It didn't take me 1 coat. All I did with 1 coat didn't take me 10 hours. Total, it took 10 hours.
Note to self, don't have deck. Too much work.
No. Way too much work. And I say that with sincere honesty. It really is. But no. But it's worth it, though. It looks great. I'll actually send you a picture tomorrow. It looks awesome. But now I'm looking at the other side, and I'm like, crap. My neighbor warned me today. Yesterday. He's like, looks great, but now you got that whole big other side. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. No help. No help at all. But how are you?
Gotta keep planted. Gotta keep your feet planted there.
So my suggestion to people that have a house, or you're about to buy one, or you're going to plan to buy one in the future, do not have. Well, yeah, get State Farm Insurance. Talk to your man, DY Daryl Rivera, baby. But also, make sure it's not gargantuan. And make sure that if you get 2, because it's cool. We got a deck on one side. We got the sunroom in the middle, and then the other side's the other deck. And that's where we have like the grill, and the boys have like their basketball hoop and water table and all that fun stuff.
Or if you're going to get a deck, make sure the previous owners actually took care of it.
See, I don't care about that because I was going to power wash it anyway. But it looked like it got ran over by a Mack truck. And the truck kept going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Awful. Never again. But I'm never leaving this house. I am going to be walked. You're going to have to get the gurney. I'm getting gurneyed out of this house. I already told my wife that. Plain and simple. I'm like, Lynn, this is what's happening. But enough about me. How are you?
Doing good. Working. Baseball started back up again. First game last Friday. Another game this Friday.
So how is this? So explain to me this. See, because I'm old. I'm middle-aged, apparently. So what is the deal with you getting back into baseball?
Well, for the middle-aged man to my left and to the comments, so the way they're doing it is kind of weird. That's the only way that they would allow us to play. Everybody obviously has to be social distance and everything. Sanitizer on deck at all times. No tags. So you can't steal first base. You can't from first to second. You can't steal.
Oh wow.
You can't tag. It's only force plays. So if you try to steal and the throw gets to third base before you even try to slide, you're out. They don't even have to tag you. Like, I picked up a guy because he was taking like a big lead. So I just kind of like turned around, looked at him like, dude, what are you doing? And I threw the ball to second base out. And he's like, what the hell? You never tagged me. I'm like, dude, learn the rules, man. It's plain and simple. It's just force out. Plain and simple. But it is what it is. Like, I'm a pitcher, so I'm just on the mound, not close to anybody. It's back. Baseball's back, slowly but surely. I got to wear a mask in the dugout. All that safety stuff. So,
which is fine. I can get that.
It's fine, except for the heavy breather in me can barely breathe after throwing 3 innings. You have a mask on, you're like, yeah.
You just called me old.
I'm out of shape. I'm not old.
Tell the listeners how old you are again.
24.
At 24, you should be in the best shape of your life.
Yeah, quarantine happened, and then I have a desk job. And, yeah.
Now, see, all I'm hearing right now is a bunch of excuses.
Excuse? Where's my...
You're 24. Go for a walk, dude. Well, that doesn't help, even though it's good beer. That's fantastic beer. But go for a walk. Go for a stroll.
Yeah.
Take a walk.
Knee problems.
More excuses. Wear a knee brace. We're a band.
That thing is heavy. 5-pound brace.
We're a band, my friend.
I'll get there.
It's all I'm hearing right now, and I'm very disappointed because all I'm hearing from you is a bunch of excuses.
Once we start going full force, I'll be back in shape again.
I don't know whether I should believe you or not.
We'll see you in October.
When the White Sox will be playing in October in the 2020 MLB playoffs.
Just to get into a little bit of baseball, because I haven't talked baseball since we haven't done around the world sports. The White Sox actually have a chance to make the playoffs this year now.
Oh, they more than have a chance
because now the pitching can last. Kopech is going through. He might be available in August, October, like September. You get that pitching rotation to stay consistent, you guys have a shot. You just have to beat the Twins.
Oh, we have it. We get more than have a shot, Rivera. Don't talk that crap now.
I'm not nickel and diming the Sox, but they have a chance, and I like what they're doing up there. I like that lineup.
Oh, that lineup is disgusting.
Mainly because it's 90% Hispanic, but yeah.
Wow. You were like my wife, and this is what I tell my wife. Every time she makes that comment to me, I say, listen, I am Hispanic, and more importantly, your children are Hispanic. Whether you like it or not. And then she quiets up very quickly.
Oh, I dig the entire lineup.
I'm like, easy, Lynn.
That lineup is like the Cuban national team. You got Abreu, you got Moncada, you got Robert, you got Grandal.
Oh, that lineup's disgusting.
It's awesome. I love it.
It's like I try to tell people, I'm like, you can hate the player, but don't hate the game. Mm-hmm. Don't hate. Appreciate is always my saying. No, don't hate.
The entire lineup is nasty.
Oh, my God, yeah. Oh, my God.
I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited for baseball. But that is about the coolest thing we're going to be talking about this evening. We got a lot of news. We're going to start with this. This is the least of the worries this evening. This is breaking news, actually, and then we're going to get into all the unfortunate stuff going on in the world of wrestling. Tessa Blanchard, the now former Impact Wrestling heavyweight champion, has been fired. Yes, fired. The world champion has been fired.
When's the last time that ever happened?
I will read, and this was PW Insider first reported it. I have a quote from Impact. I reached out to my contact in Impact, and they gave me the same statement as they sent PW Insider. Impact Wrestling confirmed that it has terminated its relationship with Tessa Blanchard and stripped her of the Impact Wrestling World Championship. She was scheduled to return to the company for Slammiversary on July the 18th out in Nashville against Trey Miguel, Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and it was supposed to be Michael Elgin, and we'll get into that whole situation in a moment. But Michael Elgin is out. He's been suspended indefinitely. And so they were looking, there was still going to be a four-way. And then it's been weird, that relationship. She won the title in January from Sami Callihan. One of the best matches of the year, I felt like. Become the first female ever in a major promotion to become first woman ever to win a major world title in a major league promotion. And then defended the title. Good champion. Biggest star in the company, no doubt about that. And then COVID-19 hit. She was in Mexico. She's engaged to Daga. And they're going to be getting married soon. And she was supposed to send them a promo for a segment. She was nowhere close to the situation. And she felt she should be getting one side of the penny, and Impact felt Anthem, who's the parent company who owns Impact, felt she should be getting something else. They couldn't agree. Things were getting frosty. They were trying to get her to come in just to drop the title. She knew what they were going to do, and she's like, "I'm good. If we agree to money, I want to stay." That didn't happen, and they couldn't have come to a deal, and not even to drop the title. That was kind of the weird thing about the situation. And then so they stripped her of the title, knowing feeling like she wasn't going to agree to it, even just to come in. So they fired her, stripped her of the title, and at 24 years old, in the middle of a global pandemic, Tessa Blanchard is now a free agent. Her dad, Tully Blanchard, part of AEW, manager of Shawn Spears, also one of the coaches for the company. 24 years old. My mind, the best female wrestler in the world. I think it's her, then Io Shirai, Kairi Sane. I think it's those three. And I think Charlotte Flair is at the top of that second tier. I'm sorry to all the Charlotte Flair fans out there. I'm not disregarding Charlotte as a talent, but I think Charlotte Flair gets a little too much credit than she deserves. I think she gets a lot of accolades just because she's Ric Flair's daughter. She's great. I don't think she's in that Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, Tessa Blanchard category. I don't see it yet. Impact does not now have a big star, Daryl. Your thoughts on the entire situation, and where does this leave Impact?
I mean, Impact is, for lack of a better term, they're screwed. They lost their biggest draw. And you mentioned this before. You went to Bound for Glory. You saw the pop that she got. She got the biggest pop of the night by far. And I wanted to go to that show, and I couldn't because, travel stuff. But Tessa Blanchard, at 24 years old, wanted to stay at a company that desperately needs stars, desperately needs superstars. Now, every company in the world, you've heard Chris Jericho talk about it, you've heard Triple H talk about it, you've heard any company in the world would love to have this talent. And you fired her over not wanting to pay her. I get the fact that Impact doesn't have, the budget that an AEW, WWE would have, even New Japan, I think. But at the same time, hold on 1
second. They got money. They don't want to cut you off. Go ahead and continue. But they have money.
They have money.
Don't want to spend the money.
Then this is the dumbest move since Dixie Carter screwed up the entire relationship with AJ Styles. Because Impact Wrestling, I've always been, and I mentioned this to you before, I'm starting to watch like old school stuff, like from 96 to now. I'm starting to watch all that. And TNA is on that list of stuff to watch. Because as a young fan, I was a fan of TNA. Back when they had the main event Mafia, Sting, Kurt Angle, Nash when he was getting up there in age, Booker T. When they had all those superstars, they always somehow, they remind me of the Marlins. They have this amazing roster, championship caliber roster. Then once they have them locked down and ready to, get to that next level, they just blow it up and trade everybody or cut everybody. And I'm using a baseball reference because I'm excited for baseball season. But
I like the fact you compared it to the Florida Marlins.
Just think about it. 97, 2003. You picture the Marlins line up now with everybody they traded away, they'd be unstoppable.
You know what? That's actually true. No, but it's a tragedy. A company that needs stars more than ever. And this is what I don't understand the stupidity here in this situation. And I get it. You're a global pandemic, you want to save money, but you're not really holding that many shows anyway. And I just don't get what they're doing. Okay, has she been difficult to work with? Absolutely. Well, you've heard the stories, I've heard the stories, but the talent has always backed up being worth the trouble. I honestly do it for a company that needs stars. You kind of hate to curtail to her in a way, but you can't let the talent run the asylum in a way either. But in this company, they needed it. But
it's the juice worth the squeeze. That's essentially what.
Oh, absolutely.
And Tessa Blanchard was worth it. Now they're going to go into Slammiversary where they had a 5-way between Michael Elgin, Eddie Edwards, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, and Tessa Blanchard, which was, they had some star power there. That could have been a good match. Now you cut Michael Elgin for stuff that we're going to get into later in the podcast. And now you lost your biggest draw in the entire roster in Tessa Blanchard because you didn't want to pay her. Bad move by Impact. I guarantee you, AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, they're just chomping at the bits. Their mouth is watering right now. They're like, man, we can get Tessa Blanchard in our women's division. A women's division, imagine Hikaru Shida versus Tessa Blanchard in AEW.
But now the question is, and then we'll go into all the unfortunate stuff. Where does she go? She's not going to go to New Japan because they don't have women. She should go to Stardom, which is owned by Bushiroad, which is the parent company of New Japan. She could go to Ring of Honor. She could go to WWE. She could go to AEW.
How do you not go to AEW? Your dad works there. They got an up-and-coming roster in the women's division. Because right now with Shida, you still have Britt Baker. You have Big Swole. Like, they have a lot of talent in that women's roster. They just need to start developing storylines. You bring in a Tessa Blanchard, that changes the game.
That's where you go. You don't go. Maybe you go for a cup of tea in ROH if you can get the right amount of money. Sinclair's got the money. That isn't the money there isn't an issue. I just don't think she'd get used well in WWE. I really don't. She's 24. She's talented as hell. But the thing is, they think so highly of Charlotte Flair. Well, Charlotte Flair's okay, she's great. But she's not a mainstream star. Your mainstream star is out till probably February in Becky Lynch. It's your biggest female attraction. And rightfully so. That's the bread and butter. Is Becky Lynch.
And now Charlotte's out until what? After SummerSlam?
I keep hearing like Royal Rumble. She came out today and said a few weeks. So we'll see. I don't know if she's...
Nia Jax pulls in another one. Add it to the count. Add it to the count.
Oh,
I think that's
God.
6. That is 6.
I love you.
Our troop is on that list, which makes me laugh a little bit.
Oh, my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I can't believe you even said that. But at the end of the day, she's got to go to Impact. She's got to go back. Maybe she goes back to Impact. I shouldn't totally discount Impact here. Maybe she goes back to Impact. I don't know. But you're 24. And think about that. She's only 24 years old. Think about
my
that.
Age. She's a world champion, and I'm an insurance agent.
I don't think about that for a second.
Two very...
But no, she's extremely talented. She's got all of these. She's only 24. She's going to get a shot. If I'm her, like you said, I go to AEW and give her the ball. Her and Shida, you got Nyla Rose, you got Britt Baker when she comes back. You got some good stuff there with AEW. So I think that's where she's going to go. It's easy there with Tully. I know she was at All In. Well, she's friendly with the Bucks. She's friendly with Cody. So we will see in regards to Tessa Blanchard. But we got a lot of people jumping in and out here. If you like the Facebook page, we're on Facebook and we're also live on Twitter. like the Facebook post, and also like the page on Facebook, The Walkway to Fight Club. Like us also on the YouTube page. Just go right now, youtube.com/The Walkway to Fight Club. Just click that little subscribe button, like the page, like the video, and then do all of that fun stuff. Also find us on Twitter at Walkway Fight, and also find us on Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club, all in lowercase letters. We do have a post up regarding the release of the firing, as I call it, because that's exactly what it is, of now the former Impact Wrestling heavyweight champion, Tessa Blanchard.
I called it Terminate on Instagram, so.
It's the same thing.
I like it better. It sounds more like, hey, terminate.
Sounds like Schwarzenegger. Now, all this unfortunate stuff I've been really looking forward to in a way, but then also kind of not looking forward to. For people that don't know, Daryl Rivera to the right, Stephen Muehlhausen to the left. I am the one talking formerly from Sporting News and DAZN. Looks like DAZN's cut. Everyone that said DAZN's dead. Oh boy, do we got a surprise? Do they got a surprise for you people?
I can't wait to hear this after the podcast.
Oh, I'll say it now.
Okay.
I think it's announced. Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin, August 22nd, live and only on DAZN.
Who?
There you go. I don't know if it's fully out, but I'll say that now. I'm probably not allowed to. I'm not employed by them right now. I can't say what I want.
You're just doing your job.
You're damn right. But COVID-19, I was really hoping it seemed like we were just like getting past all of this crap and nonsense and BS. And then what do we see? WWE once again stubbing their toe, as it was revealed yesterday by Pro Wrestling Sheet's Ryan Satin that multiple people had tested positive for COVID-19 in WWE. Then today, actually late last night, it came out that Renee Young had tested positive. Kayla Braxton came out today and revealed she tested positive for the second time. Then when I was in Dunkin' Donuts getting a dozen donuts, as my kid, my oldest, wakes me up, the wife let me sleep in today. And he tells me, Daddy, I want donuts. I'm like, what? Hello to you too. So I had donuts today, Daryl. And I had not one, but 2 iced coffees. So that is the type of day it's been.
Yep.
It's
3 cups of coffee and 2 beers. I'm right there with
it. Hey, that ain't bad. And then also WWE producer Adam Pearce has also tested positive. This is what I know as of 10:34 Central Time, 11:34 out in the East Coast, and 8:34 out if you're on the West Coast. From multiples of people that I have talked to, anywhere between 10 and 20. 10? I don't want to say the number. Between 10 and more than 2 dozen. More than 2 dozen. I've been told it's between 2 and 3 dozen people. And those are the age ranges. It's under 3 dozen, but it's not more than that. This is a mess. And talking to multiple people, the sources I have talked to there, includes talent, producers, higher ups. Talent is extremely upset. Producers, extremely upset. Higher ups, they're like, one was mildly upset, and the other one was like, what do you, verbatim, what did you expect from Vince?
I think that's the line of the night right there.
Because cases in Florida are going up. This isn't like this is something new. The world right now is a total. It seemed like we were doing okay, and then cases started going up again. Illinois, we're doing actually pretty well. I'm not a fan of the governor of Illinois, but I'll give him credit for this. In this situation, slow and steady has won, so far it's won the race. Because look what's going on in Florida. It's complete and utter chaos. You got over 130 people at the Orlando airport, where Orlando International Airport, an airport I've been in numerous times, where talent comes. That's where the talent flies into, and talent flies out of if they live in, flying into for shows, and talent that lives in Florida in general fly out of Orlando. Over 130 employees have tested positive. So you got people testing positive, and you got talent going on airplanes. It's like, what are we doing here? They tested Tuesday, Wednesday. No, the first positive test came. You didn't find out till the weekend, Daryl. This wasn't a case of, well, we found out 24 hours later. There was still talent, Daryl, that didn't know on Wednesday that were still. They were told, hey, if you tested positive, we're going to let you know. Or you're not, if we don't know, you're not going to wrestle. And a lot of people didn't wrestle on Wednesday. A lot of people are extremely upset right now in that company. Because they thought, 74-year-old Vince McMahon thought, Daryl, nothing was going to happen. He was in that Donald Trump mentality, and I hate talking politics, but he was in that Donald Trump mindset of, this is nothing, it's going to go away, and we're going to go back roaring. No. That did not happen. Your top star said adios. One of your other bigger stars, and Kevin Owens, said, hey, you know what? There was a positive test. See you later. I'll come back whenever. A lot of talent right now want to leave and do the same thing they did. Some of them are getting pressured not to go and threaten to lose their spot, even though they were told that would not be the case. A lot of livid talent right now. Producers are upset. Look at it. Adam Pearce tested positive. Caleb Braxton tested positive for the second time. And if you people cannot do the math, and I'm not going to say nothing, but figure it out. She tested positive in March. When did that first positive COVID test, when was that test found to be positive? In March. You can do the math. Not hard to figure out. I'm not going any further than that. If you can't do the math, I don't know what to tell you. When you heard all this, because I'm going to start dropping bombs here, F-bomb swears in a second, because I'm so mad about the situation. When you hear all this, Daryl, are you surprised?
No.
You're like, oh, okay. Not shocked.
I'm not shocked because nobody knows how to make a bad situation worse more than the WWE. And I texted you this earlier. And we talked about this in the breaking news podcast that we had last week. When you had that come up, you didn't tell your talent that this is all happening. Talent is more than, they have all the right in the world to be pissed at you. I wouldn't be surprised if by Monday, all of them leave. It's not going to happen because Vince McMahon, is Vince McMahon. He's a lunatic because there's no other way to describe him. This company has single-handedly put every single one of its employees in danger of not only contracting COVID-19, but spreading it out to outside of the company to the point where it's affecting other companies like AEW. Renee Young, for those of you that live under a rock and don't know, her husband is AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. Where is he now? He's quarantined at home, unable to go to the big spotlight that he had before. Why? Because WWE is screwing him yet again. Because they had Renee Young fly out to Florida an interviewer, and Renee Young is one of the best interviews in wrestling, in my opinion. She awesome at her job. She did not have to be there.
No.
She could have done it over Skype. She could have done it in wherever they lived. She could have done it online. This works for us, right? This is a good interview. She could have done the same thing that way, but no, we're going to have her fly to Orlando where they had positive tests. When flying is an absolute no-no at the moment, but we're still going to have her fly, and we're going to have her interview so-and-so, 2 days worth, and then you can go fly back. It does not make sense, and it doesn't surprise me. And that's a problem. Because when WWE is getting to NFL levels of controversy, it's not good. Especially with other companies coming in, like in the up. WWE cannot afford the Debaclers. There are other WWEs that are Titans. Yeah, Titans fall. And this actually might be the way, because talent is pissed. Talent already gets mistreated in the WWE as it is. They don't get paid enough to be there. They don't get paid enough to deal with all the crap that they have to deal with backstage. And I'm trying to really hard to limit myself here on curse words. They already, it's very hard. They already go through all these. They put up with enough. And now you have to put a freaking pandemic on the risk of getting that and exposing it not only to your fellow wrestlers, fellow producers that work with you, co-workers, but your family when you get home. WWE.
That's the biggest thing to me.
Yep.
Families. It's talent. A lot of the talent they have, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends,
kids,
children. Maybe some of them maybe have other family members that live with them. This is like stuff like they're not thinking about here. And for everyone jumping in and out here, thank you so much for doing that. Like the post, leave any type of reaction when we got I like those shocked emojis. Those are pretty cool. So you want to leave those. Leave a question, leave a comment, like the Facebook page, follow the Facebook page as well. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube page and also like the video. That definitely helps us out. Follow us on Twitter at Walkway Fight, and then you can also find us on Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club, all in lowercase letters. But you hit it right on the head. Family members. And it affected a family member with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I heard that. Now, what I know out of that is, and for people that don't know, Moxley didn't wrestle last night. He informed AEW on Tuesday, hey, this is what's going on. I'm not coming. And people I talked to were awesome. AEW was fantastic about it. They were upset at WWE. People that I've talked to in AEW were pretty irritated at the fact that, WWE's like finally testing. Not just because it affects them in this, because you got like Spears and I think it's Billy Kay. It's either her or Peyton Royce. I forget which one Sean Spears is married.
Peyton Royce is married to Sean Spears.
You got that. You got Mox and
Britt Baker and
Adam Cole. You got some different situations there. And, it's just this, they relate to the game and now it's affecting wrestling. This puts a bad light on wrestling. People think of pro wrestling, they think of WWE. Some people there's people finally starting to learn and understand what AEW is. But WWE is still the standard. And that's what people talk about. It's on people's minds. When you think pro wrestling, people think of WWE. And Vince McMahon and WWE owe it to the fans in this situation. Because, hey, if we test, if they're positive, hey, you quarantine for 2 weeks, and then you have to provide a negative test. then you can come back. That's so people can see their favorite superstars or their favorite ring announcer, their favorite commentator. Whatever is your cup of tea. Or the camera people, the production people, the riggers, and and everyone involved and that has behind the scenes the aesthetics of what we see every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They didn't do that here. They let down the wrestling fans. And look at how that's affecting now. Renee Young tested positive. She initially tested negative, wasn't feeling good, got tested on her own, got the results, and came out with a positive test. Now, it was suggested to people were telling Moxley, some people in the Wrestling Observer reported this, and Dave Meltzer, that people around Moxley were like, hey, maybe you should go to a hotel. And he's like, no. Most importantly, I don't want to get my wife sick. I want to be by my wife's side. I want to be home with her. She's sick. It's a vow you make when you get married. In sickness, you take care of them in sickness and in health. That's no joke. I do it. She does it for me. That's just part of the deal. And same thing here. I give Moxley a copy, like, oh, I'll stay in a hotel. He's like, no, staying here. They're not in the same room together right now. He's on one side of the house and she's on the other side. But if she needs something, he's there, from what I've been told, from what he's reporting, and someone I know that knows them very well that has talked to him. It's a bad. I give, and AEW was cool with it. They understood. They were like, hey, right now, the main event of Fyter Fest of the second day is still on with Jon Moxley and Brian Cage for the AEW title. I asked. They just don't know. Because Moxley did test negative, but the thing with COVID-19 is you're not going to, if you live with someone and they test positive, it takes about 4 days for you to start to feel it in your system and for you to get it. So I was told he's going to take a test at the end of the week, and then they will go from there. They're not expecting, I would, and this is me not knowing, and I'm just speculating here. I don't want anything getting out, but I would be shocked, Daryl, if we see, because his match is getting taped next Thursday. So they'll find out. I would not expect Jon Moxley to be facing Brian Cage at Fyter Fest. So if anyone is expecting that match, I highly doubt we see it. And that's a shame because now, because of Vince McMahon's arrogance, now this is going to affect. And I'm not saying it's because I'm an AEW show. I'm saying it's because Vince McMahon dropped the damn ball here and screwed things up. Because he's going out laying people off when they didn't need to be laid off. Laid off talent, laid off production people, furlough people. And he didn't want to spend, just to save us some money. That money you saved, you could be spending on testing. What in the hell, Daryl, is the damn problem here?
Arrogance. That's plain and simple. The problem is that you have an arrogant 74-year-old man in charge of an entire company where it's his way or no way, surrounded by yes men, because that's all that's around. Anybody that tries to oppose him, guess what? You get the boot. Plain and simple. You don't oppose Vince McMahon. You've seen it. And I don't know if there's much truth to this, but from what I've read, Triple H is going on decline in his spot because he goes against the old man. You don't do that. Apparently, you can't open your mouth in front of the old man. You can't even yawn in front of the guy, and apparently that's the thing. If you yawn,
he doesn't like when you sneeze.
When you sneeze,
I know is true. Because I remember asking Bruce Pritchard that it was always a myth. And then when I saw Bruce, I interviewed him for Sport News at the first Starcast. I asked him when we were done, and I'm like, I gotta ask you this. I'm like, does he really hate sneezing? And he laughed his ass off. He's like, absolutely. He Like he considers it a sign of weakness that you sneeze. A sign of weakness to sneeze.
He's a maniac.
I will never question the man's work ethic.
No.
That's the one thing I will never, ever question about Vince McMahon. He is the hardest worker in the room, even at 74. God bless him. But right now, today, doing your talent, you're doing your entire company a major disservice. Because you're too cheap and too arrogant to spend the money for the health and well-being of others. I can understand if it was a smaller company like MLW or like a Stardom, or even Stardom has money now because they're owned by Bushi Road, or like a Rev Pro, or or a top indie promotion like AAW here based out in Chicago. Companies like that, okay, I get it. But the AEWs, the New Japans, the WWE, especially WWE, Impact, ROH, spend the money, get the testing done. It's for the betterment of not just the talent in your staff, but for the entire world so they don't spread this disease. And Vince McMahon failed. And I agree with you. If I'm talent in that company right now, if there's ever a time for a wrestling union in WWE,
now's the time.
Now is the time. I asked one talent that last week, and all I got was an emoji. And he said, not going to happen. We don't have enough people to do it. And I agree with that. And it's unfortunate. Maybe that's changed this week. I don't know because I didn't ask at all today. But if WWE, if the wrestlers in that company are ever going to form a union, the time is now. Because this is ridiculous. Be like, if you're not going to test it, because they're testing at every taping. And I'll say this. No one will totally pound them into the ground. But they are going to be testing at every taping going forward. They're supposed to be taping for tomorrow and Saturday. 2 weeks of Raw and 2 weeks of SmackDown. They're going to tape each show on Friday, and then they'll tape the second shows on Saturday. Then the talent isn't scheduled to come back until Tuesday, where they'll tape the Great American Bash. They'll tape the 2 episodes of NXT that'll air on Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday on July 8th. There will be testing going forward. So that part, Daryl, is good news. I'll give him credit for that. But I can't give him credit for too much else.
You give him credit, I wouldn't. They're a little late to the party here.
Oh,
they should have been doing this months ago. As soon as Caleb Braxton tested positive, testing.
Yeah,
it's like, sure, we can give him credit now, but I wouldn't just because you took forever to do it. It didn't have to come down to Renee Young, Adam Pearce, Caleb Braxton for the second time, and possibly others to come out and get the COVID-19 for you to start testing every day. It didn't have to come to that. And the fact that you let it come to that, we got a problem.
It's a bad time. And you're right on that. And I don't want to. They're very late to the party. But at least they're now getting to the party. I want to make that clear. Hopefully, we don't see as many cases. Please, everyone, just be smart. I don't want to be that guy, but it's like, and I was talking to my neighbor about this today because he was asking me about it. We were talking tonight when our kids were playing. Because he was like, hey, what's going on there? And then I told him, and I'm like, he goes, why can't these people just wear masks? I'm like, dude, I don't know. They don't want people wearing masks in front of crowds. And this is the problem I had when I don't know how much you watched of AEW last night. But that was very disappointing, especially considering what going on with Moxley. QT Marshall wasn't on the show because he was around someone that has COVID-19. And the people at his gym, that his wrestling school, they weren't there as well. They should have all had masks on. What? After what has gone on, Tony Khan, and Tony Khan's not absolved of this either. I'm going to put him on blast for a second. From now on, we better see Daryl at every Dynamite and every WWE show. People that are not in the ring better have a mask on. Period. No excuses. This crap's got to stop. Maybe I don't even know if WWE is going to be taping this weekend. As of right now, they are. They're awaiting test results. They're supposed to have them tomorrow. So the first half of tomorrow is going to be... We may be doing another breaking news podcast tomorrow if the crap hits the fan tomorrow. If it does, we will be right back here doing it tomorrow. But we will see what happens. But it's going to be very interesting. But man, come on, people. Tony Khan, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, the Bucks, Cody, Omega. Tell these talents to wear a dang mask. In the back, if you're having people in the crowd, social distance. This isn't hard. Why are we telling adults? I feel like I have to have this conversation. Why do we have to act like 5-year-olds to adults? It's like telling my 3-year-old, hey, get your pajamas on.
For the people that don't know what a mask could be. So you grab this thing and you put it over your mouth and your nose like this. Very easy. It's very easy to do. You get one big enough, it won't bother you.
No. My 4-year-old, my oldest, put a mask on today and just walked around the house for like 20 minutes with it on. He's done. He's like, Daddy, this feels kind of funny. But I'm like, well, you got to wear it. And he's like, and then he's starting to like ask questions. Like he'll bring it up like, Daddy, like when me or my wife go to the store, I say, Mommy, Daddy, don't forget your mask. Like even he gets it.
Yep.
If my little boy, he's getting too big for his own good. And I'm in trouble with that one. But if he has a semblance of the knowledge of putting a mask on, so should everybody else.
Yeah.
And we'll leave that at that. And now,
put a pin on that one for now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. Speaking out, the hashtag movement. This started last week with British wrestling star, former. It looks like he's not going to be returning anywhere. Former British wrestling star David Starr was accused of sexual assaults, sexual misconduct towards numerous people. He came out on Twitter more or less saying that he was trying to say, I'm not a sexual predator. Didn't deny these things happened. So that just started a wave of female wrestlers, former female wrestlers, just females in general, coming out and alleging, and I want to use this, I'm going to tread down very softly here, but be also do right on this at the same time. Alleging that various incidents happened. Whether they were raped, inappropriately touched, improperly talked to, you name it. And the list is long. Matt Riddle, Jordan Devlin, Matt Riddle, who is now on SmackDown, Jordan Devlin, Travis Banks, WWE UK, Ligro of WWE NXT UK as well. Marty Scurll, the head booker of Ring of Honor and NWA star. My mind is going. Joey Ryan.
David Christ.
Michael Elgin from Impact Wrestling. David Lagana from the NWA. Jim Cornette.
His wife.
And his wife, Stacy. My head is like every time like I read something, it's like my head is just like, wow. Can't believe like I can't like I can't wrap my head around it, and this is why. You know, I just don't understand how, and also I want to say Keith Lee, TJP as well. I don't want to, there are males involved in this as well who have come out as well. It's mostly women, but I don't want to disparage, or no, I don't want to forget an unbelievable tweet from Keith Lee and then TJP from last week. I feel like I can speak for you in this situation, in this statement. We do not condone that in any way, shape, or form. If you do, please leave, unfollow, unlike, unsubscribe. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I've built this thing to where it's getting back to sustainability. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's despicable. I think it is utterly disgusting. I think this shows that you are a very weak-minded human being who has no regard for humans, much less yourself. I don't get it. Like, I don't, Daryl, I've been trying to, and I've been like talking to my wife about this because it's like, I can't wrap my head around the fact of why would someone do that in general? And then because it's like, I read these things of like what happened in the UK. And like consent in the UK is 16. And it's like, and there were some that were 16. Like in the case of Marty Skrull, and we'll get into Marty Skrull in a minute, but like, you see some of this stuff, and it's like right now I'm like disgusted. And like I want to cry because it's like these women that are making these allegations, I believe them. The only one I'm really is Matt Riddle. And the only reason in terms of Matt Riddle, because WWE knew this already. Matt Riddle informed them when he signed with them, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's been happening. And Matt Riddle's contemplated, he had legal stuff written up and just never pulled the trigger for whatever reason, and that's Matt Riddle's own situation. But like all these other cases, like the good thing with Cornette is, okay, Cornette's a swinger. Okay, him and his wife are swingers. I can't sit there and how you live your sexual life with your wife. That's on you, unless you're doing it in terms of affecting people's positions in wrestling, or using it for personal gain in the wrestling business for your profession. Then that's where there's a problem, because that's just wrong and it's disgusting. But there's a lot of holes in that situation, and we could talk about that for hours. But it's just been a horrible week for wrestling. The last 7 days, not just this week, but the last 7 days in general, it's a black stain on the wrestling business. It really is. Things got to change, Daryl, and things got to change in a hurry.
Yeah, and when I started seeing this whole like hashtag speaking out trend happening on Twitter, Matt Riddle's the first thing that I saw. You mentioned it. You texted me about it. And I just kept reading these stories, and more came out, and I'm like, my God. Like, how do you not believe these stories? If anybody's making up any of these stories, that's just wrong in itself. That's why I'm like, I have essentially these stories, like, I had no choice but to believe because they're so, like, I felt sorry for all the women involved, all the men involved in the case of Keith Lee and TJP. I felt bad for them because they're, in situations where at that point they couldn't have done anything. They got taken advantage of, whatever the case was. And I hope that this brings change to the wrestling business. Everybody has been handling their own way. I know AEW hasn't said much, but the whole Sammy Guevara thing, and that was just a common nothing, it's serious because of what he said.
It was just stupid.
It was the stupidest thing ever.
I don't know what the heck he was even saying. He wanted to rape Sasha Banks, and he saw her after during his tryout in 2016 or 2015, whatever year it was. And I forgot about Guevara. Jimmy Havoc's been suspended. He's going to rehab, and Guevara's suspended indefinitely, and all his money will be donated to a Jacksonville abuse shelter.
It's a Jacksonville Women's Foundation.
Women's Foundation. I apologize. Yeah. Thank you.
And so AEW handled that well. Now we got to see, because you mentioned that tomorrow we might have breaking news on the whole COVID thing. What's going to lead to from now on? Like, you've seen Michael Elgin get suspended. You've seen David Lagana get fired from his NWA, or he resigned, whatever the case was.
Resigned. He denies the accusations.
I mean, if you resign, that's kind of...
He didn't want to put the NWA through a controversy like that when they're trying to go. I can get that. When I'm not saying I believe Lagana, I'm just saying I can see why Lagana did the right thing in that situation. For the NWA, Lagana did the right thing.
Okay. And it's just something that we're going to have to wait and see what's going on. But I hope this movement actually brings positive, because the wrestling business, for those of you that know it in depth, like you, I know a little bit about it. I don't know all the, dirty clothes in the laundry, whatever the case is.
The dirty little secret, the
dirty laundry. They don't air that. No. I hope, and especially with the women's wrestling, the way that it's coming up, it's being highlighted more. It's becoming more on par with men's wrestling. I want to see this affect change in wrestling in a positive note. Like, hey, if something happened, don't be afraid to speak out, because that's the main thing. Women that have been abused, been taken advantage of, they're afraid to speak out because they're afraid that it'll affect their position. That's not right. That's not humane. If something bad happened to you, you should be able to speak out. Have somebody that you can go to and be like, hey, this happened to me. Like, it's really hard for me to talk about, but get it to a point where, like, this is wrong. Do something about it, and the company will actually grow a pair and do something about it. I don't care if he's the biggest star since, sliced bread, whatever the case is. It's your usual saying. Take action. If he did something despicable like abusing women or taking advantage of a certain situation, when no means no, take action. I don't care if it, and I'm not saying he did it. It could have been the biggest superstar in the world. Could have been the biggest name in wrestling, biggest name in baseball, football, whatever sport, whatever situation. Take action. That's why women are afraid of speaking out, because 1, they'll get judged. 2, they might lose a spot. And 3, it's essentially, it makes it seem like they're the ones that have the most to lose. And that's not right.
No, that's the part that's terrible, because I know there's a lot of women that want to speak out about this, but they are afraid to. And because of the reasons you just said. And I give credit to every woman and male that has spoken out about this, because it needed to come out. It's a situation that Yeah, is it hard to talk about? Yeah. I want to talk about. We're not even going to talk about what we saw last night because this stuff's just too big of a topic to. Yeah, we could talk about that other stuff at another time, but this is a big problem, and the part that I'm still like really upset about because my anger has subsided is the fact that we haven't seen enough of the big names in wrestling, past and current, speaking out about this. Why have we not heard from Tony Khan? Why have I not heard from Cody? Why have I not heard from the Young Bucks? Why have I not heard from Kenny Omega? Why have I not heard from Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Edge, Randy Orton? Where are these Charlotte Flair? The only one that's really spoken out is Bayley and Brandy. And I'm not saying that, and I thought that Brandy had a really good statement she put out on Twitter. But where are the big hitters? Why aren't the big hitters in wrestling speaking out? They should be speaking out. I think they would make more. They would put Steve Austin, The Rock, all of these names from AEW, WWE, past and present. Chris Jericho's another one. Trish Stratus. Where's Trish Stratus? Where's Lita? Where are the people, Daryl, that need to be speaking about this? They're not doing it. That would help significantly. Get the word out more. It is a prevalent issue. In the past, it has been. In the present, it has been. In present, it is right now, but you can curtail this from happening in the future. But it needs the big hitters need to get their heads out of their butts. Stop worrying about corporate speak and just be real human beings. And we're not getting that in this situation. And to me, that is quite unfortunate.
Incredibly unfortunate. And you've seen superstars are getting, suspended. They're getting cut. They're getting just whatever the case is. That's a good sign. That's a step in the right direction. That's showing, hey, we don't tolerate that here. Like, let's move on. It's 2020. Women's wrestling is on par with men's wrestling at this point. They shouldn't feel inferior at any point. And the same thing goes for the men. It's a two-sided coin. It's not one or the other. But at the same time, let's clean up wrestling. Wrestling has always had a bad reputation for their backstage problems. It's time to clean it up.
I will give Impact credit for releasing David Christ and Joey Ryan. With Joey Ryan, like almost 20 allegations. That's absolutely ridiculous. That was a good. I highly doubt we see that pervert. I want to say it so bad, but I can't. That begins with an A and ends in an E. You can even throw the F word before that. And he's a scumbag. I hate even mentioning Joey Ryan's name. But good on Impact for doing that. Good on WWE. And I will say this for WWE. Firing Jack Gallagher, that was, and I forgot about good old Gentleman Jack. He ain't a gentleman. I'll put it that way. From what we've seen with Jack Gallagher, but he was released as well. And good on AEW. I know they've gotten some flack, but they did the right thing in suspending Sammy Guevara, and the same thing with Jimmy Havoc. Jimmy Havoc needs some help, so hopefully Jimmy does. He's admitted he's got a problem, and he was willing to go get help. And AEW couldn't fire him for that because he's willing to. What they can do, what they want after that, but for now, Jimmy Havoc does remain employed with AEW. I will give those places in progress, getting rid of Banks and Devlin, I thought that was a job well done as well. Same thing with David Cross. Impact suspending Michael Elgin, I thought a very good move as well. But I just can't and I'm so mad at the fact that we're not seeing more of the big hitters. They need to speak out. Why do you, and we'll end with this. Why do you think these people, the power players, we'll call them that, in wrestling, why do you think they're so reluctant to say anything in this situation?
To be completely honest, that's a question that I really don't have an answer to. There's no excuse for you. For example, you think of Vince and his daughter. Like, Stephanie McMahon is such a large part of the company. If she were to say, hey, speak out, like what? Just send a message, post something, write a letter, do whatever you have to just show that you care about this topic, because it's something that you need to care about. Everybody's like, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out a way here to now sound like an a-hole to these guys, but at the same time, just think about it. If it was your daughter in this situation, you're the big hitters. The Rock, his daughter's in the development.
Oh, yeah, she's in developmental. Yeah.
She's in the developmental talent. She's in the business. What if something were to happen to her?
Exactly.
That's the main thing that these big hitters. Triple H, he is a father of, I think,
daughters. All daughters.
All daughters. Randy Orton has a couple of daughters, I think.
Yeah.
Edge has 2 daughters. You got, I'm not saying, hey, you need to do it, but at least show that you support it. Grow a pair, speak out, show support for the women that are speaking out, because you showing support, it might give somebody else the courage to actually speak out.
Exactly.
It's all you can do.
Do you think we will see that? I'm not saying they're going to see it tomorrow. Maybe we will tomorrow, and I think that would be fantastic. But do you think any of those power players I mentioned earlier, do you think any of them speak out?
I think we see Randy Orton has become a lot better human as he's gotten older. And his response to, the Black Lives Matter movement.
Tremendous.
Really, it was great. Like, hey, I used to be on the other side. I was wrong. I've opened my eyes, and now I see why it matters. And honestly, that I was like, whoa, that's a big movement. Like, you admitted you were in the wrong, and then you came out and gave a stance, which is great. I can see him doing the same thing. Hey, speak out. Don't be afraid to speak out. I can see Orton doing it. I can see Stephanie saying something. I cannot see Vince McMahon saying something. God knows what skeleton he has in his closet, that if he were to say something, a lot of people would come on.
I am very shocked we have not heard Vince McMahon's story yet. I'm not going to lie. I know that's like the taboo thing right now. That is, I'll say it on air. I'm very shocked. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That would rock pro wrestling.
Steroids. Circa steroid scandal back in the day, but bigger.
That would be a walk in the park compared to this. Just saying. But we will end on that note. But we want to thank everyone that has watched. Didn't give no prep. Didn't give no. Usually we give a teaser, but no teaser tonight. I want to just me and Daryl talked about it yesterday, and again today, and I wanted to get one out for you guys. It's been a long week, a long 7 days, and it's a tumultuous time. Yes, salute, my friend. You have one. You have one for me. It's been a tumultuous time in the world of pro wrestling. But we will be back to happier notes. We possibly may be doing something Saturday. I got to talk to Daryl about it. I still got to, but we do. There's a lot of good stuff coming up though. We got UFC with a banger show on Saturday night, headlined by Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker. That is going to be bat bleep crazy. Is all I got to say. If you are a fight fan.
That's the fight to watch.
That is the fight to watch. We may be doing something like that. I'm not sure yet. We'll let you guys know on that tomorrow on Friday, or if you're going to watch this on Friday, it'll be today. If we're going to go that route, that tequila look. How was that, by the way?
Smooth, very smooth.
My man,
Terramana, highly recommend. Hey, somebody tell The Rock I'm sponsoring it. Like I'm advertising his stuff. We need a sponsor.
Yeah, Dwayne needs the. I don't think Dwayne's watching. I think Dwayne's probably sleeping.
Dwayne never sleeps. He's probably doing some project right now.
He's probably eating like his.
He sleeps. You'd think Vince McMahon sleeps less. Yeah, Dwayne sleeps like 3 hours, and then
I was watching this video. No, it was I forget if it was a picture or a video. It was with him and his youngest daughter on Father's Day, and did you see it? They were eating they had the big stack of pancakes.
This is cheat day. His cheat day, he eats for 12 people.
It was on their island, and I'm like, the post was awesome. It was very cute, and almost made me want to have a daughter. I would be the worst dad because I would be that one that would go all Bad Boys 2 on because if you guys don't know, I'm not going to get into it because of what's going on there, but just watch Bad Boys 2 if you did not.
Who's at the door?
Who's at the door? I'm the Godfather. Just swinging something around. But no, I would be that dad. I would be like, I feel like my neighbor, the friend my son has, girls like his age or 4. It's actually pretty cool. And I go to him, like he gave her a hug the other day, and he gave her a kiss on the cheek, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I am so sorry. And he looked at me and he's like, it's starting now. He's like, but luckily, Steve, I like you. And I think your son is great. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, maybe you won't be saying that to me in like 10 years when they may be going on actual dates. But we will end with that. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much. If you watched on Facebook, facebook.com/the Walkway to Fight Club. If you're on there, hit the like button, hit the follow button. Make sure you guys do that. That would be fantastic. That definitely, we're almost at 1,000. We're at 994. So we're by the end of June. We still got a few more days. We can get to 6. We can get 6 more. All we need is 6 more. Also, if you were watching on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube page. YouTube.com/the Walkway to Fight Club, or just if you're watching, click that subscribe button and also like the video. We would greatly appreciate that. Also, follow us on Twitter at Walkway Fight. We got we got like 4 new followers in the last couple days, like the last 2 days. So that's good news there. And also on Instagram, the followers are going up on there as well. The Walkway to Fight Club, all in lowercase letters. Daryl, how can the fans find you on social media?
Right down here, DY21 on Twitter. Instagram, you will find me at The Walkway to Fight Club, all lowercase. That is me posting that stuff.
That is you.
Make sure you follow. Huh?
Because I hate Instagram.
Yeah.
And you were better at it than I am.
He hates Instagram, so I'm taking care of it.
And you're also better at it than I am. I will not lie.
Yeah.
When it comes to Instagram, I don't post enough.
Well,
I just don't.
I don't either. Personal stuff, I don't post it. But wrestling news and stuff like that, boxing, UFC, MMA, Bellator, we're posting as much content as we possibly can. So
Absolutely.
Follow the Instagram page. Like the page here on Facebook, because 6 away, guys. Come on.
6 away from 1,000 on Instagram. So, on Facebook. So, we're getting there. I think we're going to get there. I got the faith in the people.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter. It's got cut off there, but S Muehlhausen JR. You can find me on Instagram at S Muehlhausen MMA. And that is where you can find me. But no, thank you to everyone for watching. It really does mean a lot. We're going to be back more often. Hopefully Saturday. We'll get something figured out for Saturday. If not, right at the beginning of next week. And Daryl's doing that shimmy. I love it, baby. Love the your little Puerto Rican Eddie Guerrero style. But for the second handsomest man in the room, Daryl Rivera. I am Stephen Muehlhausen. Thank you guys once again, and we'll catch you next time.